All right, so there was also incredible meltdowns and tantrums and insanity on cable news. We're going to play this again because I love doing Chris Matthews impressions. But let's just do these two choice Chris Matthews. This is Chris Matthews. Let's do the France thing and then what he apologized about. I just want to say, because I don't care about being fair or whatever, but I do think being clear is important. He was not literally comparing Bernie Sanders to Nazis. He was saying it was like honestly, I think almost more just like a kind of like oaf pseudo-intellectual trying to sound like cultured. At the same time, it's hysterical and embarrassing in any scenario. And here is Chris Matthews.
I'm reading last night about the fall of France in the summer of 1940. And the general, Renault, calls up Churchill and says, it's over. And Churchill said, how can it be? You got the greatest army in Europe. How can it be over? He said, it's over. So I had that suppressed feeling. I can't be as wild as Carville, but he is damn smart. I think he's damn right on this.
Carville looks like he's having a fucking stroke. All right, here's Chris Matthews. I love and again, this is what power begets, because as much as they hate Bernie Sanders, they hate what he represents. It's personal, it's ideological, it's self-interest. You win, and you get this.
To tonight's news, I want to say something quite important and personal. As I watched the one-sided results of Saturday's Democratic caucus in Nevada, I reached for an historical analogy and used a bad one. I was wrong to refer to an event from the last days, or actually the first days of World War II. Senator Sanders, I'm sorry for comparing anything from that tragic era in which so many suffered, especially the Jewish people, to an electoral result in which you were the well-deserved winner. This is going to be a hard-fought, heated campaign of ideas. In the days and weeks and months ahead, I will strive to do a better job myself of elevating the political discussion. Congratulations, by the way, to you, Senator Sanders, and to your supporters on a tremendous win down in Nevada.
Yeah, but not only Jews, but also gypsies and homos. Hashtag woke. All right, Ben, your thoughts.
Chris, I think there's something happens in between the camera and the lights, and you honestly think that people can't see the bullshit, right? And you think that people can't see, like, Chris was so furious in his apology just now that he could barely hide the rage on his face because he had to apologize. Now, I'm going to go with you on this one, right? I don't care to try to be overly fair to people who are never fair to us. I think, again, that exactly like you said, he tried to sound like he was intelligent, like he was cultured, and walked into a landmine. Like, the last thing that you want to do is compare any Jewish person to Hitler, like to Nazis. That's just the dumbest thing.
Bernie Sanders like Bogart in Casablanca. The whole thing's getting shut down.
There's a lot of ways he could have made that point. But I think to the broader point of what you're getting to is, like, there has been so much mainstream media meltdown around Bernie Sanders that it is hilarious. And it's almost jarring to see them now make a hard shift to bringing on more Bernie Sanders voices, right? That's one of the reasons, I guess, now in hindsight, I saw the article that got posted right after I went on Ari Melber tonight saying that they're looking for more Bernie voices to balance it out. So it's kind of shocking. I'm like, I didn't expect them to actually tote fair with Bernie Sanders, because what network has, right? CNN certainly has not, right? So a lot of people in the establishment, I think now they're adjusting so that they can find a way to protect themselves in the Bernie Sanders administration.
I think that's true. But I think the interesting thing that emerges, and this is, again, where, this is just Bernie. I would never include Warren in this, with all due respect. We all know with Trump that, for the same reasons that everybody's always known who was paying attention, that Trump is totally can be accommodated in this media ecosystem. And it was accommodated from the beginning. He'll go, I can't believe what he said at that rally. All right, let's go to it live and play it for 3 hours, right? We all know that. And okay, he won, so we think he's in bad taste and he's uncouth and blah, 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 blah. But let's hire some guy who used to I don't know, run a pyramid scheme, and now he's like the deputy outreach for Klansmen for Trump or whatever. Let's have him as like a new, a new analyst on CNN. We can deal with that. We can figure that out. With Sanders, I think there's going to be a limit, because on one hand, they're embarrassed. They have egg on their face. It shows how bad they are at their jobs. But on the other hand, And this again is where, you know, my friends who can get kind of, I think, you know, a little bit, oh, well, Bernie's not even really that left. Well, you know who thinks he is that left are the capital class in this country who are terrified of, yes, what is, of course, a modest common sense program. So I think what we're going to see now is a balance between they need to pivot, but this isn't like Trump. This isn't like, oh, well, we can figure out how to work around people's manners or whatever as long as we're still doing the same shit. Bernie represents something different. And it's a conflict with the corporations, frankly, that own these companies.
Yeah. They're only going to let me own so many times talking about the working class, talking about oligarchs, talking about all that kind of stuff. I don't think that they have the stomach or the bandwidth to allow actual leftism to thrive on the mainstream media. Right. But we'll just call a spade for a spade. We'll take it for what it is. We'll say as much as we can, get on as often as we can to push that narrative. And as soon as they ask us to betray what we believe, then, you know, I've survived on independent media this far. I'll be quite fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it is going to be important, and it is going to be really funny to watch. And, you know, frankly, look, I want to hold the balance. I keep quoting it. The panel I just did with Dr. West, he said, I love conversions. I am completely with it. I reject cancel culture. I'm all about it. If you want to get on board, awesome. I'm with you. And at the same time, I would be very conscious of folks in the cable news ecosystem who have been for years demonizing this particular candidate, as well as the broader issue sets that he represents, and by extension, the tens of millions of people's lives impacted, all of a sudden, you know, getting hip to a new brand proposition. So I think we got to play with that dialectic. You just watched a Michael Brooks show video. Subscribe to get them all. Why wouldn't you? Don't be foolish. Click subscribe below and become a patron as well. Patreon.com/TMBS. Thanks, everybody.